My boss gave someone else credit for my hard work and called me a failure in front of everyone. I said nothing because I had evidence that was waiting for the right moment. My boss gave someone else credit for my hard work and called me a failure in front of everyone, but I said nothing because I had evidence that was waiting for the right moment. When I look back at that time now, I'm amazed at how quietly I endured everything. Not because I didn't have an answer, but because I understood that some truths don't need to be proven immediately. They only need the right moment. I was a project manager at a large technology company, and I had worked there for almost 8 years. That place was more than just an office to me. It held my hard work, my late nights, my sacrifices, and years of my life. I had built my career there, given my best to every project, and always believed that hard work would eventually be recognized. My boss, David, seemed like a great leader at first. He smiled, encouraged the team, and always said, "We are all one team." But over time I learned that some people love talking about teamwork, yet when success comes, they want the credit for themselves. That year was extremely important for me. Our company was working on a major software project for a large client. For 6 months, that project became my entire life. I stayed up late creating reports, solving team problems, attending client meetings, and sacrificing time with my family to make sure everything succeeded. I still remember one Thanksgiving dinner. My whole family was sitting around the table, laughing and enjoying the evening, while I was secretly checking work emails on my phone. I smiled and acted like everything was fine. My daughter even asked, "Mom, are you working again?" And I simply smiled and said, "Just a little bit." That was the moment I started realizing how much of my life I had spent trying to meet everyone else's expectations. Then the day came that changed everything. It was our company's annual presentation with all the senior executives in attendance. I walked in fully prepared because I believed that, for the first time, my hard work would finally be recognized. But when David started the presentation, he gave the entire credit for the project to my colleague Mark. I sat there quietly. He explained how Mark's leadership helped the team succeed, how his strategies made the project possible, and how his vision brought everything together. I looked at the data I had created, the reports I had prepared, and the plans I had spent months developing, but my name was nowhere to be found. Then David said something I still remember. "Sometimes people work hard, but they don't have the leadership skills needed for success. That's why success doesn't always belong to everyone." Those words, spoken in front of everyone, felt like an accusation. But I said nothing. I didn't argue, defend myself, or show anger. Because I had something no one else knew about. Evidence. From the beginning of the project until the end, I had saved every file, email, meeting record, and timestamp. I had always been organized, and that habit became my greatest strength. I thought carefully. If I spoke in that moment, people might see it as an emotional reaction. But if I presented the truth at the right time, no one would be able to ignore it. For the next few weeks, I continued working quietly. I completed my responsibilities just like before, but something inside me had changed. I finally understood the difference between loyalty and blindly hoping people will do the right thing. I remembered our Sunday Costco trips, which had once been a family tradition. I thought about my life, my 401k, and the retirement plans that once felt like my security for the future. But I realized that true security doesn't come from a company or a position. It comes from trusting yourself. About 2 months later, the company board decided to conduct a full review of the project because the client wanted more details about its success. That was the moment I had been waiting for. I walked into the meeting with my laptop, without anger, without complaints, and without needing to prove myself emotionally. When they asked about the project details, I simply opened my files. One by one, everything became clear. Who created the strategies, who prepared the reports, who handled the meetings, and how the entire project was completed under my direction. The room became silent. David had nothing to say. I wasn't there to embarrass him. I was only there to show the truth. A few days later, the company gave me a new leadership position, and David had to answer for his actions. But strangely, I didn't feel happy in that moment. I only felt peace. Because I finally understood that my goal was never to defeat someone else. My goal was to find myself again. Today, I see that experience as one of the biggest lessons of my life. I still work hard, I still chase my dreams, but I no longer measure my worth through other people's words. I learned that silence is not always weakness. Sometimes silence is the strength that protects you until the right moment arrives. And when I look back now, I know I made the right choice, because the greatest success is not making the world remember your name, It is making sure you never forget your own worth. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this powerful story. If this story inspired you or taught you a valuable lesson about patience, self-worth, and standing for the truth, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing more emotional and inspiring stories with you.